The ballroom was loud with mocking laughter. Look at Arthur Vance, still wearing discount shoes. Some people never climb out of the gutter. The sound of a glass of cheap wine being deliberately spilled near her followed. Then, a sudden, powerful hush fell over the room as the doors opened. A calm, deep voice, the rejected billionaires. Cut through the silence. I seemed to have interrupted something, but I was looking for the woman who owns a controlling interest in this entire hotel chain. The sharp, shocking sound of a massive diamond ring being placed on Sarah's finger was a climax, followed by the terrifying realization of the cruel classmates. Their victim was about to become their final, absolute judge. The setting was the grand ballroom of the Hilton Midtown Hotel in New York City, hosting the 10-year reunion for the graduating class of a prestigious local private high school. Arthur Vance, a woman of dark complexion in her late 20s, stood quietly by the edge of the room. She was an accomplished architect, currently serving as a consultant for massive urban renewal projects across the city, but she was dressed simply and lacked the ostentatious jewelry and designer wear of her former classmates. The confrontation began almost immediately. Chelsea Hayes, the self-appointed queen of the class and a woman whose parents have financed her entire life, walked directly up to Sarah, flanked by her two friends, Tiffany and Melissa. "Well, look who it is. Arthur Vance," Chelsea announced loudly, ensuring her words carried. "Still doing those tiny little government contracts? I heard you couldn't even afford a table here. You're standing by the drink station." Chelsea's hostility was based purely on Sarah's modest appearance and her perception that Sarah had failed to achieve elite status. Sarah was a victim silently hurt by the hostile assumption of class and fraudulent behavior, based purely on his complexion. The ominous hint of future reversal was the simple silver bracelet Sarah wore. It was a custom access key for one of the most exclusive, high-security corporate floors in the city. Fresh, unique opening style. Focus on the public social humiliation versus the immense, silent power protagonists wielded in the corporate world. Sarah managed a tired smile. "Hello, Chelsea. It's a nice reunion." The wrongdoers are loud, arrogant, confident. Chelsea scoffed and gestured to Sarah's simple, elegant dark dress. "Nice? Please. We are literally celebrating our success. Tiffany just married a partner at Goldman, and Melissa's inherited her father's firm. And you? Still building playgrounds." Chelsea leaned in, her voice dripping with venom. "I remember Arthur Vance. He tried to date you for years, didn't he? He was so obsessed. Too bad he's off being a billionaire tech mogul and won't even attend this pathetic gathering to rescue you from your mediocrity. He wouldn't even look at you now." The aggressive assumption of fraud, designed to publicly discredit and displace Elijah, was a clear act of discrimination. Sarah suffered emotionally. She felt the cold sting of his position being dismissed, and the humiliation of being accused of lying to occupy a space he rightfully owned. The tension surged as Chelsea laughed again, turning to her friends. She's just standing there like a statue. It's embarrassing. Someone give her a trash bag so she can start cleaning up. A low-status relative intervened. A nervous waiter, David, who recognized Sarah from her quiet charitable work, came over with a tray of expensive champagne, trying to offer her a glass to diffuse the situation. Sarah's gesture was an attempt to provide the judge with an official basis for the judge to enforce order, but she instantly retreated when Arthur pointed a furious finger at her. Chelsea immediately snapped at the waiter. "Not for her. She's probably driving here and she'll just spill it. Go find someone important to serve." Chelsea successfully silenced the low-status intervention. Just before the shocking reveal, we want to take a quick moment to thank you for your support, love, and kindness. We wouldn't have come this far without you. Subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue to bring you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Where are you watching from? Drop your city and country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's get back to the story. Chelsea and her friends turned their backs on Sarah, satisfied that they had properly marginalized her. They began discussing their plans to fly to the Hamptons. At that exact moment, the main ballroom doors swung open dramatically. A tall, impeccably dressed man entered, followed by a personal security detail. It was Arthur Vance, the billionaire tech mogul Chelsea had just mocked Sarah about. The room fell silent. The entire ballroom was silent. Every eye fixed on Arthur Vance, the legendary tech billionaire, as he moved with purpose across the floor. Chelsea and her friends, frozen in smug expectation, assumed he was walking toward them. Arthur stopped, not in front of Chelsea, but directly in front of Sarah Vance, the woman of dark complexion they had just humiliated. "Sarah," Arthur said, his deep voice carrying easily through the sudden stillness. He didn't look at anyone else. "I apologize for the security delay. We were tracking a potential hostile bid on the Nexus Group shares, and the alert was traced to a device currently in this room." He paused, scanning the shocked faces of Chelsea's group. "I seem to have interrupted something, but I was looking for the woman who, as of this morning, finalized the purchase of controlling interest in the entire Nexus Group portfolio." Chelsea, Tiffany, and Melissa stared, utterly bewildered. The Nexus Group owned significant assets, including the Hilton Midtown Hotel, where the reunion was being held. Arthur looked back at Sarah, pulling a single, highly encrypted access card from his inner pocket. "Sarah, you told me not to come tonight, but I needed to personally deliver this. Congratulations. The bid cleared. You now own the Nexus Group, making you the largest private landholder in Midtown, New York. I simply acted as your broker, as requested." The true, absolute power was revealed. Sarah Vance, the quiet architect mocked for her discount shoes and tiny contracts, was the anonymous buyer behind the year's most aggressive corporate acquisition. She was now a multi-billionaire and, more importantly, the legal owner of the very hotel where her classmates had ignored and insulted her. The silver bracelet she wore was the key to VTech's most secure financial network. Arthur then looked down at Chelsea, whose face had gone pale with dawning horror. "Regarding the sensitive network activity I mentioned, I believe the active device belongs to Sarah. Her purchase finalized the deal. And regarding the rejection, Ms. Hayes," Arthur added, finally looking at Chelsea, his voice laced with finality, "Sarah didn't reject me 10 years ago. She accepted my proposal. We got married 6 weeks ago in a private ceremony. The underestimated person is revealed as powerful." Sarah held up her left hand, which now bore a massive, complex-cut diamond ring that Arthur had just slipped onto her finger. The silence was absolute. Her classmates were looking at the true owner of the ballroom and the wife of the man they all coveted. Arthur gently took Sarah's hand and addressed the entire, stunned crowd. "My wife, Sarah Vance, is the most brilliant architectural mind in New York. She is using her wealth to finance and redesign affordable housing for the city, which is why her contracts were small, as some claimed. She chooses dignity over display." He then looked pointedly at Chelsea and her cohort, whose arrogance collapsed instantly, replaced by desperate, tearful apologies. Chelsea stumbled forward, tripping over her own feet. "Sarah, Mrs. Vance, I am so sorry. I didn't know. It was a terrible joke. Please, don't tell your husband." Sarah looked at her former tormentor, her face composed and final. "Chelsea, your words and actions today revealed exactly who you are, and it showed me why I chose to keep my distance from this class and this room." Arthur turned to a security detail. "This ballroom and the entire VIP lounge are closed for the evening. Escort Ms. Hayes, Ms. Tiffany, and Ms. Melissa off the premises immediately. They are barred from all Nexus Group properties, effective now." The wrongdoers go silent. Chelsea, Tiffany, and Melissa were marched past the stunned crowd, their expensive designer clothes now looking ridiculous against the backdrop of their total, absolute defeat. They pleaded, cried, and begged for mercy, but Arthur's security team was merciless. Their humiliating exit ensured that their cruelty would be instantly rewarded with absolute social and financial consequence, instant karma. Sarah felt a profound sense of closure. She had not needed Arthur to defend her. She needed him only to confirm her power. Her dignity was restored, and her quiet strength had won the day. The next morning, Sarah and Arthur ensured that the Nexus Group, the massive hotel chain, immediately implemented a new labor policy, guaranteeing high wages and comprehensive benefits for all service staff in New York, including the nervous waiter, David, who was promoted for a small act of kindness. Sarah used her immense new financial authority to restructure her architectural firm, dedicating it entirely to the creation of innovative, equitable housing across the city. Her life improved exponentially, but her focus remained on justice and contribution. She had enacted deep reflection. The moral lesson was clear. Status is not defined by external wealth or who you marry, but by the quiet, ethical power you choose to wield. Never mistake simplicity for weakness, especially in New York.